Yeah, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing out there? Frank Red, live and direct. Another edition of In the Dungeon program coming to you on YouTube, wherever you might be listening. It's a pleasure and honor to have you on air with me tonight. And as you can see, I decided to surprise the listeners, keep you on your toes a little bit. I've actually put the live link into the chat. Doesn't mean everybody needs to use it. If you just like to enjoy the program, that's all good. But if you're somebody who wants to come on live and speak your piece about what has transpired in the world of sports, I'm going to give you that opportunity to do that tonight because, to me, it's been a great weekend. It really has. And we're going to talk about all of it tonight. In the college ranks, NFL, Sundays are the most unproductive day of the week for me, but my favorite day of the week during football season. Because, they got all of these different services now. The NFL, with the NFL service where you can watch every game on YouTube now. I don't do that. They did something wrong when they created Red Zone, NFL Red Zone with Hanson. I could just watch that all day. I don't even have to watch a regular game. I just sit there and watch him go from game to game to game. I love that. Although I did watch quite a bit of the 49er game. So I was interested in checking that out because throughout the week I had saw some things on Twitter that kind of talked about the comparison between Brock Purdy and Matthew Stafford. And I came out and I responded on X, Twitter, and basically said, wait a minute, Matthew Stafford is on the cusp of potentially being in the Hall of Fame. Now, he's not there yet. He's certainly not there. He needs another big hit. But this dude is one of the best quarterbacks of his era. No doubt about that. So, and I think today he went out there and proved it. With a very mediocre team, Matthew Stafford had the Rams in contention. And I give the 49ers credit from this perspective. They didn't play their best game offensively. And defensively, they were good. And I could throw many stats out there. They're one of the 1, 2, 3 best teams in all of football. But give the Rams credit. I thought the Rams were very, very competitive. I want to say, what's up, Vicky? How you doing? Vicky says, hi, Frank. The Colorado game was something else. Colorado State is dirty. Do not like them. It starts with the coach. He taught them to play that way. As for the 49ers, they played okay. Yeah, they didn't play great. And you know what, Vicky? It's interesting because, I'm actually going to give the Colorado State coach a lot of props, minus the dirty play. Because I don't think that he intentionally told his guy to go out there and do what he did to Travis. That was uncalled for. Could have seriously hurt this young man. Could have ended his season. But got to give Colorado State credit from this perspective. They were not intimidated. They outplayed Colorado for 3 3/4 of the game. Shador's 98-yard drive to send them into overtime was very Brady-like, and got to give him credit for that. But I thought Colorado State did what not most people thought that they would do. They played a very, very competitive game. Now, it doesn't mean anything if they don't go out and duplicate that effort the next time that they play. Because last night's performance I thought was special. Now, I'm going to get into the coach, but that was a horrible play. But I thought Colorado State played pretty well. We're going to talk about that also. But I want to start with the 49ers because it's interesting talking about all of the things the 49ers did in the offseason as they started to prepare for this season. It all leads to this is the year that they feel that they have the best chance to win a Super Bowl. And I'm excited about that, you know what I'm saying? Because they really do. Defensively, they haven't had superstars in the back end the way that they do now. They had great defensive line, they had great linebackers, but they got some guys on the back end now that are all-star caliber players. People have been talking about Ward being a step down corner for a long time. I didn't necessarily see it. Now, maybe that was my casual eye, but the more I watch him, the more I realize he is a really, really high-level player. And I'm looking for, I'll go back to his DB partner who actually had a pick. Let me find his name. Oh yeah, Lenore is his name. He's just as good. And I think that tandem that they have, obviously with their big-time safety out of USC, they're tight in all three levels of defense. And I don't think you can say that about the 49ers over the past couple of years. With that said, I think everybody is penciling marking the game that they're going to play with the Dallas Cowboys because the Dallas Cowboys look like the 85 Bears. I mean, because they not only play good defense, they hurt you. The Baltimore Ravens defense was like that also. The 49ers, the defensive linemen punish you, but they just play solid football. The Dallas Cowboys defensive unit, they hurt people, and I haven't seen that in a while. So it was my man, Paul Lassiter. What did he say? Red, Dallas did a good job on their, hold on, put my glasses on so I can see this. All right. Red, Dallas did a good job on their pad level, hence Pollard's. Jets have a good defense. Dallas showed who they are. Okay, he also said, the 49ers are still showing who they are. Brock is good, very good. Defensively, they haven't missed a beat. No, they haven't. They haven't. And again, I think the difference, Paul, is the fact that they're really good on the back end. They were solid on the back end, but I think before, people would look at the 49ers and say, don't let their DBs hurt them. You know, they're not saying that now. Now they're saying some of these guys can make the all-pro team. Profunga, I hate mispronouncing people's names. A lot of times I'll reference like a position because I don't want to mispronounce their name. But their safety is an all-star caliber player. You know, we know that. Yeah, I know that, Motion Man. But yeah, I know. Okay. I'm Frank Red, everybody. This is In the Dungeon program. We're going to be live at least an hour, maybe a little longer than that. But we're going to go through it and talk about the 49ers specifically. But we're going to talk about all of the games of interest in the NFL. We're going to touch on college football as well, because I can't remember college football rivaling the NFL in terms of popularity. And I think we're there right now. And it's all because of Colorado. No question about that. But yeah, Brock Purdy today was 17 of 25, 207 yards, no TDs, no INTs. And he basically looked like the quarterback that I think he is. A lot of times when I'm listening to other sports talk show blogs, I'm reading things, I'm like, well, who am I reading about? This doesn't seem like the player that I'm watching with my eyes. This is the player that I think Brock Purdy is. Today, he missed a couple of throws, but he was solid. He was very solid. And that's what they need. And I think that's what Shanahan is comfortable with. Not spectacular, but he was good. And I think That's why the 49ers can line up all those other high-priced players, because they have a quarterback who is not a caretaker, not somebody who you don't want to lose it. He can make plays, but he's not a superstar. And I think the stats sometimes get in front of reality. He is exactly what they need, because they got big-time players in every other position except quarterback. One of the things I wanted to say about the 49ers watching the game today is all of their skilled players make big boy catches. I wish all of the teams made catches like the 49ers wide receivers. They don't drop many passes, and if it's a contested ball in the air, more times than not, Debo's getting it. Ayuk is getting it. Kittle is coming down with it. McCaffrey's going to get it out in the wing. That makes your job as a quarterback so much easier. We can watch games where wide receivers and tight ends are dropping balls all the time. The 49ers don't. They want the ball so badly that when it comes their way, they don't drop it. And who gets the stats? The quarterback gets the stats. So it's all good for Brock Purdy. Christian McCaffrey's tenure with the 49ers has been everything that they hoped that it would be. Today, he gets another 100-yard game. He had 116 and a touchdown. Debo had 100-plus yards between running and catching. Jauan Jennings, I mean, he's a number 3 wide receiver. He could probably start for some teams, because when the ball is in the air, he goes and gets it and comes down with it. So, wow, man. 49ers look like that team. It's going to be interesting when you look at the 49ers, the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC. Is there another team in the NFC that can even challenge either one of those teams? In terms of personnel, probably not. But I'm going to tell you what. Geno Smith showed me something today. And he showed a lot of people something. Yeah, he didn't have a great game last week. He was in command today. Geno Smith looked like a straight-up baller today. And in the vein of Pete Carroll teams, they're just solid. They don't hurt themselves. They play great defense. They play solid offense. They make plays. So Seattle's not going to be an easy game. I don't care if you're playing on the road or at home. They're good. They're a solid team. Last year was not a fluke, I don't think. And I think that's something that the 49ers need to certainly be on the lookout. I want to go back also and talk about the 49ers' year to win a Super Bowl. When you look at all of their players, Dre Greenwald had 12 tackles today. Fred Warner had 11. He got to be the best middle linebacker in all of football. I mean, when you consider reading defenses, interceptions, blitzing, tackling, Fred Warner is awesome. He really is. Great player. I'm thinking, how does the 49ers moving forward pay all of these players? You know, every other team seems to be in salary cap hell at some point. And the 49ers have been able to work the salary cap, pay their players, and still be a high-level team. But at some point, you would think that they're going to have to pay for that. The Rams won a Super Bowl a couple of years ago. They're a shell of themselves. They tore that thing down. And they rebuilt it with a bunch of young guys, and now they're coaching them up. You know, they're not a great team, but they played really, really hard, and I think that they were competitive. And I think McVay probably, when he looks at the game, because they were in contention until, the interception goes to Stafford, but Karen Williams dropped the ball. I think the score was 20-17 at that point, 49ers, but they were driving, and then they got that pick, and that pick was not on Stafford. So that was a tough break for them. And at that point, the 49ers scored, and it was over. But the Rams were in that game. I was surprised. I think everybody else was surprised also. But big the 49ers up. Anytime you can win on the road, that is a good victory. So yeah, so we can continue to talk about the 49ers, and I'll go back to it. They were great. Well, no, they wasn't. They were solid. That was not their best game because the Rams were able to move the ball on them, and that had to, surprise everybody. What's the guy's name? Puka Nacua, the rookie out of Brigham Young, 15 catches, 147 yards. Nobody really saw that coming, but young man was outstanding. We want to big him up. I mentioned Geno Smith. Geno Smith today he was 32 for 41, 328, 2 touchdowns, no picks. And he led his team. You can talk about stats, but a lot of times it's not about stats. It's about leadership. And, I'm going to jump around a little bit, but that's what I saw from Shedeur Sanders last night. That was textbook. And again, it's not by mistake that he resembles a lot of the qualities that the great Tom Brady has, because, Tom Brady is his mentor, his coaching mentor, if you will. And I'm interested in getting your, perspective on that. Obviously he's going to jump up some draft boards, but how good is he? I think he's awesome. I don't want to see him come out this year, though. I want to see him. I would love to see Travis there another year, because I don't want the Deion Coach Prime Colorado experience, to be a one-hit wonder. And you can talk about Deion's impact, and it's been incredible. But he's winning because he got some players. You don't win without players. You really don't. I don't care what level you are or who you are. You can coach them up, but you got to have some players. All right. So Daniel Jones of the New York Giants, football Giants. He's at his best when he's playing sandlot football. Literally, he looks like Paul Hornung, Frank Gifford. He looked like he would have been a stud back in that time, because he's not a conventional quarterback. He's fast, he can throw, but the combination of everything that he brings to the table makes him right for that team and makes him effective. But he's not your traditional quarterback. But give Daniel Jones credit. They were down, 28-3 to Arizona. Came back and got that victory. They needed that because I think the Giants are going to put a hurting on them. So, but big the Giants up. They definitely needed to win that game. Josh Allen also. I'm a big Josh Allen guy. He's going to be Josh Allen. I don't think that any coach is really going to corral this guy to the point that he is going to be real judicious with the football. I just don't think so. I think he's always going to be a little more adventurous with the football than he should be. And, I don't know if his coach has to live with that, or is Buffalo destined not to win a Super Bowl because of his play. But I like how he plays. Tone it down a little bit, but I like Josh. It's real hot in the dungeon. Excuse me for a second. This is in the Dungeon program. I'm Frank Red, everybody. It was funny this weekend as I was preparing for the show. I was thinking about this. I was like, okay, so we're 30 shows in at this point. And I was watching some videos last night of people who are very, very successful doing content creation. And they were just talking about how hard this is. This is really difficult. It's not easy at all. And so I started thinking about myself, and I was like, I'll come in and I'll ask people to subscribe to the channel. We have over 100 now. That was the first goal that we had, which is outstanding. I want to thank people for subscribing to the channel. But I said to myself, I'm dealing with smart people, right? They'll subscribe if you listen for the first time if they think it brings value to them. You shouldn't have to tell people to subscribe to your show. So I'm not going to do it. I'll mention it at the end, but I'm not going to ask people to subscribe to my show. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to bring value to my show, and I'll mention it at the end, but it's about the value. And if you watch the show, that might be good enough, you know? So I was like, wait a minute, that's not who I am. That's not my personality to sell stuff, you know? Create value, and people will come on board if they want to. This is my man, Willie. Willie says the Atlanta Falcons will win the NFC South. You know what? Listen, man, they've impressed me. The former Cincinnati quarterback, your starting quarterback now, Justin, I can't think of his last name right now, but they're playing good, solid, fundamental football. They're not looking for big plays. They're not putting people in harm's way. I am really, really impressed with Atlanta so far. Can they sustain it? I don't know, but I like what they're doing. Yeah, man. I mean, you got to be excited if you are a Falcons fan, because it's not like they don't have players. It's all about the quarterback. They got guys outside with the wide receiver position. They obviously have a great tight end out of University of Florida. They got a great running back they drafted out of Texas, Bijan. They can win. It'll be interesting watching New Orleans tomorrow night, because I think that you and I, Willie, will have a better indication of where that division is going. Tampa Bay also has to have been a pleasant surprise to a lot of people. Baker Mayfield has played well, and Tampa Bay's played well. So a division that we didn't think much of, all of a sudden, it's kind of interesting. They're not the top tier in the NFC, but Atlanta right now has as good a chance as anybody to win that division, because it's not a great team in the division. So I'll say hell yeah. Hell yeah, they can win. You know, what do you think? Okay, I want to talk about, first of all, I want to give a shout out to my man, Michael Harrison. When Travis went out of the game last night, late, Shedeur had to find another number one option. And, you know, they got Weaver, they got Horton, they got a lot of guys. But the guy who he kept going to is a kid out of the Bay. Michael Harrison went to SI. He was just balling, man. This kid was unbelievable. Straight out of SI. I got to think his NIL is way up after last night's game. One of the things I wanted to say about him and about other players, people talk about all of the transfers that Deion Sanders brought into Colorado. What about the players who stayed? What about those guys? Because Deion came in, Coach Prime came in telling you that if you didn't do this, this was not the place for you. I don't think that he made anybody leave. I was a Division I college athlete, right? And they could come to you and say, well, you know what? You might consider transferring because you're not going to play here. And you can be like, you know what? I'm staying. I am going to stay. I'm staying. As long as you're in good academic standing, you know, you haven't done anything crazy, they can't kick you off the team. Now, you can kick yourself off the team by not upholding the requirements of your scholarship, not practicing, not showing up to weight training, not going to class, not doing all of the requisite things that you need to do to maintain your scholarship. Yeah, then they can get rid of you. But I got so much respect for the players who stayed at Colorado and said, you know what, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to be a part of that. This kid, Michael Harrison, was one of those individuals who stayed. And now he's balling. So I wanted to big him up. I also want to talk about Jay Norvell, who is the head coach of Colorado State. First and foremost, this dude has been a part of 13 college programs. And he's 60 years old. He looks like what? Like he's 45, 46? He's 60. So, former player at Wisconsin, got to be a disciplined cat to make it to where he is. Because as an African-American football, I'm sure he's been passed over numerous times. You know, he's a former coach at Nevada. He got that job at around 56, 57. This dude worked his tail off to get to where he is. And he's clearly a good football coach. The problem that I had with him was coach drawing a line between one way of raising children or picking one side over the other in terms of how somebody should act. And I thought that was wrong, and I want to speak about that. One thing about Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, he's more Saban-like on the sidelines than he is primetime. You know, I mean, you don't see a whole lot of gyration from him. You see a very conservative football coach. I think people miss that. Now, after the game, after he's won, is he boastful? Is he arrogant? Is he primetime? Yeah, he is. There's nothing wrong with that. But the dude is a fundamental conservative football coach. I think that gets lost in the press, in the blogs, in the interviews leading up to the games, the glasses, the sunglasses, all that stuff. Deion Sanders is a very, very conservative football coach. And nobody can say that his team doesn't represent that. So I wanted to pick him up for that. And hopefully Coach Norvell learned something, you know, because if he would just be open to the idea that, you know what, there's a lot of different ways to do things, he might get some more players at Colorado State, because I think he could build a little dynasty of his own there, playing in the Mountain West. I mean, give me a break. So they're 0-2. They're certainly not an 0-2 football team. They're much better than that. But I just wanted to talk about that because I don't want his salty comments to get in the way of his narrative, because this guy has worked his tail off to get to where he is. He did not look out of place last night at all. Crazy penalties. I was watching the press conference today from last night, and he implied that maybe some of the penalties were not appropriate. I'm like, nah, dude, I watched the whole game. I mean, they made a lot of mistakes. They got to clean that stuff up. But they did play hard. They played extremely hard. Their quarterback in the Mountain West should light that league up. And then they got pro players on the outside. They got guys that was Horn, one of their wide receivers, 6'3", 6'4". Colorado couldn't stop him. I mean, yeah, they didn't have Travis Hunter, but I don't think anybody could check that dude. That dude was money. I meant to talk about it, to mention it last time, but Friday, but I didn't have enough time. I just wanted to briefly talk about Mel Tucker, the suspended coach of Michigan State football. I'm not going to delve too deep into why he got suspended. If you're a sports fan, you probably know already. But he's done at Michigan State as their football coach, in my opinion. I don't think he'll ever coach there again. Gave him a contract that potentially was worth $100 million, 7-year, $100 million contract. Allegedly, it was partly backed by Ishmer, the new coach of the Phoenix Suns, and a bunch of big Michigan State boosters. He was accused of sexual assault. He denies it. I'm gonna leave it at there. I don't want to delve too deep into it. But the point I wanted to make about the whole story. Anytime that you get a contract and you're making crazy money, you got to uphold that contract. And whomever paid you that money is thinking about ways to get a return on their investment. In the last couple of years, Michigan State, while they've been decent, they have not been what I think people thought that they would be coming off Mel Tucker's 11-2 season. So wins and losses has a lot to do with it. Do they have to pay you if you uphold your contract? Absolutely. But if you give them a reason, to get that money back, then they're going to do it. I don't think it was malicious at all. I think that they saw an opportunity and they jumped on it. Now, the allegations are serious, and I give the Michigan State University credit for doing their due diligence, but it's kind of etchy both sides. If you really look at the whole story, it's kind of weird. It really is. There doesn't appear to be any. I don't even want to talk about it, man. It's a crazy, crazy story. But I feel bad because, by all accounts, this is a good football coach. And he had galvanized a group of young people in a way that could have been beneficial on and off the football field. And I don't think that's going to happen again. Now, he could come out of this. They got trampled on last night by Washington, 41-3, something like that. Those young men are barely adults, so they're very, very impressionable. I don't see how they can emotionally lose him and then have him as the head coach to rebuild the trust and the continuity that they've lost. So I don't think he's going to be the coach there ever again. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I don't know if you have any thoughts about that. If you do, you can post them in the comment section. I also put the link, the StreamYard link, that you can access to actually come on the show live if you want to. I don't know if there's any daring people out there that want to come on, but you could do that tonight. I thought that'd be a nice surprise. If you just want to listen, then that's all good as well. What do you think about the new Dak show? Dak is almost too nice of a guy, right? Dak Prescott is taking more hits than he's taking a lot of hits, man. It really has. Some of it deserved, a lot of it's undeserved. You would have thought Dak was just a horrible quarterback, and he's not. But Mike McCarthy has, I don't think that he's put handcuffs on him, but I think Dak is certainly more conscious of protecting the football when he's out there and just letting his defense do the work. Imagine that. Imagine if Dallas doesn't make a lot of mistakes. They're going to be right there. They really are. So, I ride with Dak. People know that. Listen to this program, I ride with Dak. Love to see good people have success. And I think he's a great role model. A lot of people might not care about that stuff. I actually do. And, his football life changes if he wins a Super Bowl. He's taking hits, even from his owner. We don't know if we could pay. He needs to win a Super Bowl, to get above that Romo, Danny White level of Dallas Cowboy hierarchy. If he wants to get into that, that Roger Staubach, Troy Aikman class, he needs to win a Super Bowl. As simple as that. So, I don't bet, but if I was betting, I would say that this year the Dallas Cowboys or the 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl this year. I just think that it's their time. I mean, the AFC has a lot of good teams, but I don't see a team in the AFC that is as balanced as the Cowboys or the 49ers. I really don't. Maybe that will change. Are there some good teams? Sure. Jacksonville, I don't think that they're ready. KC is really a shell of itself. Let's be honest. They really are. They're a solid playoff team. Their division is pretty average. The Raiders, the Broncos, the Chargers. I mean, come on, man. Come on now. KC's going to win 11 or 12 games this year. Sleep. And if they get on a roll, then maybe they'll win a couple. But I don't think they're that good. They're solid. They're not a great team. Baltimore's good. Who else is good in the AFC? Buffalo? Yeah. So I think a Super Bowl champion this year is going to come out of the NFC. I think it's going to be the 49ers or the Dallas Cowboys. Don't really have a rooting interest. I like good football. I grew up a Giant fan and like the Jets as well. Neither one of those teams are Super Bowl ready. I think it's the 49ers year or the Dallas Cowboys. And I don't bet, but that's my thoughts. What do you think? Also wanted to talk about and I mentioned it really quickly the other night, Golden State Warriors had a sneaky good move. They signed a young man, Usman Garuba, to a two-way contract, former first-round pick of the Houston Rockets. And somehow, some way, he didn't get an NBA contract. I'm sure he could have went overseas and made a lot more money. But I think he was probably sold on being a part of an outstanding organization in the Warriors, the Golden State Warriors. He's on a two-way contract, so I think he's going to get on the floor for a great salary slot for the Warriors and maybe position themselves for greener pastures down the road. But he's a solid player, 6'8", 6'9", rebounder. I was surprised when I was watching the tape preparing for the show that he could actually shoot a little bit also. So don't be surprised if Usman gets on the floor this year and actually makes a contribution to the Warriors. I like their team, man. I really do. I'm totally enthralled by the NFL right now and college football, but I can't wait for the NBA to start. This could be one of the more competitive seasons that we have seen in the past. So we can say that every year. The Sacramento Kings roster. I mean, the Kings were the number 3 seed last year in the Western Conference. They could be number 3 or 4 this year and actually be better. There's probably 7 or 8 teams that are worthy of potentially winning a championship this year in the NBA. And that's exciting. My Knicks are not quite good enough. They know it. They haven't made any moves. They're not going to make any. But they're solid, I mean, I love watching Knicks play, but their personnel is just not quite good enough. The Eastern Conference, you're going to look at the Boston Celtics, the Milwaukee Bucks. We don't know what's going to happen in Philly. We really don't know. I don't have a whole lot of confidence that Philly is going to represent the Eastern Conference. I think it'll be Boston or either, Milwaukee, like it's been over the past couple of years. I know Miami won last year. I know that. But in terms of personnel, I think Boston and Milwaukee are the best teams. Now, could they lose? Absolutely. Did you guys notice during the Colorado football game, they quickly flashed a sweet Chauncey Billups was there chilling with Kyle Lowry? You guys noticed that? and then they quickly took it off. But any sports fan, what's up, Brian? How you doing? Brian, did you notice that Kyle Lowry and Chauncey Billups were hanging out last night at the Colorado football game? I thought that was interesting. Thoughts on the 49ers game today? I thought the 49ers were very good, not exceptional, because the Rams were able to move the ball on them. And maybe that was the defense they were playing, but the young man from Brigham Young had a day. His name is, let me get his name right here. Puka Nacua, the rookie out of Brigham Young, had 15 catches for 157. Brian, what I said was the 49ers defense has always been supreme. But when you look at the team, schematically, you look at their defensive line and their linebackers, Greenwald, Warner. But now they got legitimate stars on the back end, right? People were saying that Ward was a shutdown corner for a long period of time. It wasn't very casual to my eye, but now I see it. He is. And then you got Lenore back there as well, and they got a Pro Bowl caliber safety. This is the year. This is the year. I thought the 49ers defense did what they needed to do. Brock Purdy was a little off. You know, he wasn't as clean as he has been in some other games, but he was very good. This is the player who I think he is, to be quite honest. And why was he a little off today? Because he was pressured more. You know, he was pressured more, and even when he had a clean pocket, I think he was probably a little nervous. And that's who he is. He is an above-average quarterback. I don't know if you saw it on Twitter this week. People had Brock Purdy ahead of Matthew Stafford. I was like, what? Are you out of your mind? You know? And that's why, that was the only thing interesting about today's game. I didn't think it would be this close, but I wanted to see if Stafford could come out and have a good game 2 weeks in a row. And he did. And the pick that he had obviously was not his fault when he was driving his team when the 49ers were up, I believe, 21-17, something like that. So, I mentioned it, the Dallas Cowboys and the 49ers. Greenwald had 11 tackles. Greenwald had 12 tackles. Warner had 11 and a sack. Just dynamic defensively, man. I mean, they're tough. They really are. Brian says, I thought Sean McVay and Stafford had a great game plan against the defense and executed it for about 3/4 of the game. It seemed like the classic 49ers and Rams game. Yeah, it did. It did. And, I mean, think about it. The game came down to one pivotal mistake by the Rams because Karen Williams, the running back out of Notre Dame, you know, they drafted him the Rams drafted him in the 5th round. He was a first or second round talent coming out of Notre Dame. He's really good. But the ball ricocheted off his hands. The 49ers got the pick. I mean, if the Rams go up in that situation, you don't know what transpires. Yeah, I was surprised that the Rams played so well because you can't name any of those players outside of a couple. You can't name any of them. But this is their rebuild. And what I was thinking about watching this game was, as I said earlier, this is the year that the 49ers have to win a Super Bowl. Because from a financial standpoint, they seemingly done everything they can do to keep the dam from breaking. Because they got stars on this team that want to get paid. And they're going to get paid. And they've been able to methodically massage this salary cap, trade Lance to get that $9 million off the books, restructure contracts. Can they continue to do that year after year? I don't think that they can. So I think that they realize this is the year. We're probably going to lose some of our top players in free agency. So let's get one. You know, the Dallas Cowboys have to feel the same way. If I'm looking at the NFC, the Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco 49ers, I can't think of another team right now that I say, yeah, they got a shot. You probably can't either, Brian. Can you? Who? I don't see a team out there. Obviously, a couple of teams in the AFC, maybe, more than two. You got KC, you got Buffalo. Baltimore is interesting. Even though they lost their running back, they're interesting because watching Lamar today, I'm bugging, excuse me. Brain fart, yeah. And it's interesting. I think the reason why I didn't mention the Eagles is I'm still thinking about Hurts and Brown. Now, I didn't dismiss them just because of that. I obviously forgot. Philly's there also. But watching Philly over the first couple of weeks, you would say that they're not as good as the 49ers or the Dallas Cowboys. They're not quite as tight as those two teams. Are they good? Hell yeah, they're good. SG, what's up, brother? And I'm a big Jalen Hurts guy. I can't believe I forgot this. But, I mean, Dallas and San Francisco right now. I'm looking at those two teams. Philly's really good. And Philly's defense, wow. That defensive line, the NFL is crazy at the top. At the top, they're really crazy. How you going to score? How you going to score deep down the goal line? So, but yeah, thanks, Brian. I appreciate you, brother. So you got Philly, you got San Francisco, you got Dallas. Washington's tough on the defensive side of the ball, and I had a lot of joy watching Eric Bieniemy because no one's saying anything. That dude is dialing it up. He really is. He's down. I mean, their quarterback Sam Howell. They drafted this kid in the 5th round. Now, when he was at North Carolina, people thought he was going to be a first-round draft pick, and he had a terrible junior or senior year, the year that he came out. It was terrible by his standards. But everybody knew how good he was. And Deion Sanders said, when he came to Colorado, he said, I'm bringing my own luggage and it's Gucci. That's what he said, right? Eric Bieniemy said, I'm going to D.C. and I'm bringing my own play sheet, all right? So whatever you guys did last year, you can put that crap in the garbage. Because I'm bringing my offense, and he's dialing it up, right? So happy to see that, man, because, how many times they're going to tell this guy he's not qualified to be a head coach? And he needed to do this. And so far, so good. He looks fantastic. Call the plays. The 49ers start the season with a perfect 2-0 record. Yes. Clearly one of the best teams in the NFL, SG, although they were not at their best today. They were solid. And the thing about the 49ers, again, their wide receivers make their quarterback look better than he. I mean, they make tough catches, man. Every quarterback should have a receiving core like that. Just go and get the ball. San Francisco Giants won by a final score 11-10. Good for them. I mean, you know what? I am like this. How can you say the Giants had a bad year? I mean, how can you fire the manager or the general manager? I know a lot of people don't like them, but this team's been pretty competitive. I didn't watch the game today. I was football all in. But yeah, give the Giants a lot of credit. I don't know if them playing so well this year is good for long-term success. I don't know. I don't follow that closely. But I respect it. I really do. So we got more people listening now, so I'm going to restate some of the things I said earlier today. Real competitive game between the Rams and the 49ers. They won 30-23. In a game, I don't think the 49ers were ever questioned by the Rams, but it was competitive. And they didn't really grab a hold until they got that pick, I believe in the third quarter, to get a double-digit lead. Another small but big story about the 49ers has been how Moody, the kicker who they drafted out of Michigan, has kind of quieted the noise once the regular season started. He's been outstanding. And that's good news for them because in the preseason, obviously, he wasn't himself. This is an outstanding kicker. And I think he's starting to, bring some stability to that position like they've had for so many years. The Giants are one of the best baseball teams in the National League. I don't know about that. Maybe by record. Yeah, Mark. Moody has been solid. He was solid in college. So, yeah. Appreciate you, Mark. We got two Marks. We got Graves and we got Marco. Thanks, brother. Yeah, man. Having a good time talking about football. I was saying that Sundays for me are the most unproductive day of the week, and I love it because I don't move. I got up at around 7 o'clock this morning and went to a local Starbucks and put in a couple of hours and got some work done because I knew I wasn't going to do anything for the rest of the day besides prepare for this show and just watch football and watch sports. So I had a great day. Yes, sir, Mark. Good evening, man. What'd you think about the, not any one particular game, what'd you think about the sports weekend? There was so much going on between college football and the NFL. Mark Jones, one of the commentators on ESPN and the Sacramento Kings play-by-play guy, he said the sidelines of the Colorado State game was a combination of the BET Awards and a football game. I thought that was funny. Because, listen, can you imagine being a salesman now, selling ad time for ESPN or Fox? You roll into like one of those ad firms with your book, telling them that, the commercial slots that you have open, you got a big smile on your face. You thought you would have to give up 4 $49 tickets. You only have to give them 2. Keep the other 2 for yourself because you're going to get the ad anyway. Because this is television bonanza right now. Can you imagine the documentary that they're going to do on Deion Sanders years down the road? Already one of the best sports athletes in history. And this is not a fluke. The guy is a really good football coach. Now, I don't want Shador or Hunter to go anywhere. I don't. I want those guys to stay and try to win a national championship. They're not ready this year, but win it, drop it next year. How long before Deion goes to a bigger school? Oh, man. I hope no time soon, but maybe that's not realistic. 3 years. Florida State. Norvell's doing a really good job. That's one job that I think that he obviously would be interested in. University of Miami is another job that he would be interested in, but I think that they're going to stick with their guy for a minute. They're paying him a lot of money. I think Florida State or Miami would be a job that Deion obviously would be very interested in. I want to see him stay at Colorado for at least 3 to 5 years. How realistic? I don't know. What's your score prediction between New York Giants versus San Francisco 49ers in their home opener at Levi? Do you think it would be a close game? No, I don't think it'd be a close game. I think, is that a Thursday night game? It's a Thursday night game, right? Yeah. I think the 49ers, I'm going to say 28-10, 28-14. 49ers just too good. That sandlot style of football that Daniel Jones likes to play, because the 49ers are so disciplined at all three levels, they could hurt that guy. Fred Warner, Greenwald, Ward, Drake Jackson. I mean, they got all-stars across the board, man. The only teams that can potentially beat the 49ers are teams that can run, pass intermediately, and go deep. There's not many teams that can do that. Philly and Dallas, the Giants are just not good enough. The Giants got some good young wide receivers. That kid Hyatt, I believe he's out of Tennessee. He's been impressive. He really has. And they got Saquon. They're not good enough, man. No. I think the 49ers are going to put up at least 28 points, and they'll probably give up maybe 14. Mike McCarthy, Cowboys head coach, has a quarterback academy called, M2 QB. Okay, to help Trey Lance and Tom Brady is mentoring Shedeur, who will be the first quarterback pick. I think Williams would be the first quarterback pick because of flash and maybe some hype, maybe his resume being a Heisman Trophy candidate. Drake, the kid at Carolina, he looks like Justin Herbert, dude. He looks like Justin Herbert. And Shedeur Sanders looks like Steve McNair and Warren Moon and Tom Brady. They have an overhand delivery, overhead. He's real accurate, but I think that he needs another year to really cement his legacy in college. That's my opinion. I think because there's going to be a lot of hype, and his numbers are not hype. He's a hell of a football player. We'll see even more when Colorado plays Oregon this week. He goes up against Bo Nix and that rugged bunch. But I think the first pick in the draft is going to be Williams out of USC. And Drake. What's Drake's last name? He's probably the most conventional quarterback in college right now. Big time player. But he got 3 INTs already. Not that matters that much. He can spin it, man. That dude can spin it. I love the ball when it leaves his hands. Soft. Looks like Justin Herbert to me. Williams is big time. Not as conventional. He's at his best when he's out of the pocket. That's one thing to keep your eyes on in watching Williams as he starts to, ascend up the level of NFL quarterback candidates. He's probably already 1, 2, or 3 already, but he's not quite as good in the pocket. And you don't see many guys in the NFL running around like that. So it'll be interesting. Drake May. Thank you, SG. Appreciate you. I think Drake May is that dude. I do. I think he's probably, when you look at all of the boxes that you want to check, he's probably the most NFL ready right now to me. But I like Williams at USC, and I like the prospects of Shedeur. And the thing that was impressive about Shedeur last night was his poise, man. That dude was poised. 98-yard drive. None of us can really even imagine that. It was 66,000, 70,000 people screaming. The game, college football is harder now. You know why it's harder? Because the clock doesn't stop after a first down anymore. Only the last 2 minutes of the game. So you got to really manage that, man. That dude was awesome. Brian says, I have a feeling that Colorado might run into a buzzsaw in Eugene. Yeah, come on. If you are a professional gambler and you do this for a living, you would be licking your chops right now. If you just like a lucky guy putting money on the game, then maybe you go with your heart and say, Colorado. I don't know the spread. Maybe you know the spread already. I have no idea. But you never know, man. Shedeur is special. Now, if Hunter doesn't play, I don't know if they have enough weapons because Oregon's putting up 50 points a game against pretty good defenses. I don't think anybody would call Colorado's defense high level. They're just not. They had Travis Hunter was their one DB who could match up against top tier players in college football. They don't have a guy. They don't. They got a decent defensive line, a decent linebacking core. Coach Prime alluded to it in many of the interviews he did leading up to this game. He kept saying, we get about 7 or 8 more guys, some of those big boys, when we get those big boys, because he knows that, they really don't have the personnel. The kid from Washington looks good as well. Yeah. Michael Penix Jr., listen, before he got injured at Indiana, he had put them on the map. Indiana was beating Michigan and whooping everybody's tail, winning 10-plus games a year when he was there, and then he got hurt. And, things changed. Yeah, May, Williams, and Sanders are definitely the top quarterbacks. Shedeur is that guy. Nah, he's dope, man. He really is. How many points are there? At Mark Graves might have to take Colorado. How many points are there? I might jump in there, and I don't bet anything. Just for fun. No way. Oregon is favored by 20 points? How can I get some action, man? That's a sucker's bet. They're not, listen, Colorado is not going to lose by 20 points. No way. I don't believe that. That's one of those Vegas bets, That's how Vegas gets to build all those skyscrapers, man. For bets like that. Take the under. Think about this. Think about it. TCU, if Colorado played TCU 10 times, they would lose 6. TCU's a hell of a football team. They had that hiccup against Colorado the last 2 weeks. They put it on people. They're good. And Colorado put 34 on the board against them. Nebraska is good. So got to be joking. It can't be a 20-point game. Colorado's winning that game, no doubt. All right. I tell you what, I don't see any team stopping them for 4 quarters. Shedeur too accurate. He got guys who can catch the football. They got a brilliant offensive coordinator in Sean Lewis. I can't wait, man. Now, do I expect them to beat Oregon? I don't, personally. Would I be happy if they did? Yeah, I would. Let the story continue. But Bo Nix is a baller, man. Bo Nix Bo Nix is going to play on Sunday, in my opinion. And he might even be a first-round draft pick. He won't be a top 15, top 20, but Bo Nix might be a first-round draft pick. He's really good. I love it, Mark. Look at Mark. Mark jumping in there. Roster or no roster, Shedeur is leading them dudes to a W. Mark, you're all in, man. And that's Saturday afternoon. You got your hot wings, right there. You got a nice beer if you drink, or a Coke, like me, some lemonade or something. You got some fries. You got a little dip jumping off. You can't wait, right? Mark Holt, you can't wait. Why not have that one at 7 p.m. at night, though, right? Change the time of that game, man. I guess it's 3:30 in the afternoon East Coast time. The networks are happy. I'm happy. Travis Hunter's not going to play, so that's going to be tough. But I'm looking forward to that particular game. Brian says, rewatching the 49ers game right now. Okay. One thing that impressed me is McCaffrey might have the best vision for 49ers running back since Frank Gore. Yeah, man, he's just a dude, man. We've been watching, McCaffrey since his days at Stanford. And here's the thing about McCaffrey that I love. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. And I think that he plays with a chip on his shoulder because he went to Stanford and because he's a son of an above average NFL player. Because the first thing, and he plays running back. He's a white guy playing running back. Just put that out there. He's like, you know what? I'm faster than all you do. I'm tougher than all you guys. It doesn't matter where I come from. I can ball. Yeah, I got a supermodel girlfriend. Yeah, she's fire. And that's not distracting me. I'm here to play football. I love that about him. I love it. And yeah, man, he's a difference maker. Who's better than him right now? Look at Vicky. Vicky, this is what I want. She said Nebraska is a joke. They're not good. Vicky, okay. Let me ask you a question, Vicky. How many wins will Nebraska have by the end of the year? This is me and you. This is our bet. And you figure out what the bet is. Because I'm going to tell you, Nebraska's going to win at least 8 games this year. CMC is a beast. Yes, he is. Think about it, Vicky, and then let me know. I think Matt Rule is a hell of a football coach. Think about what he did to Colorado. Vicky says Nebraska's going to win 3 games. Somebody's getting fired if they win 3 games. Yeah, he's the son of, yeah. Yes, SGS said that. Ed McCaffrey, Super Bowl winning wide receiver of the Denver Broncos. Yes, I know who he is. I love it, Vicky. I think Nebraska's better than that, but we'll see. What's up with Frank, what's up with Dub's big man? You talking about Yoruda? Let me get his name right. His name is Usman Garuba. I seen him play when he's on Houston, man. I like him. I think he's good. I think he's solid. 6'8", 6'9", a pretty good interior passer. I was shocked by that. And I also saw him shoot some three-point shots. Not that that's something that he does a lot, but he's a physical player. And to think that the Warriors got him for basically nothing as a two-way guy, that was a steal because he's going to play a little bit, I think. As I said earlier, this NBA season is going to be fantastic. And the Golden State Warriors have an improved roster than they had last year. A lot of people have written Chris Paul off. I think that's a mistake. The Warriors are going to be fun this year. And I'm going to say they're going to win. The Warriors are going to win between, I'm going to say, 46 and 51 games. And probably be the 4th or 5th seed. Yeah, 4th or 5th seed, but they're clearly better. For some reason, I think Clay's going to be better also. Frank, what's up? Shout out Tupac 913. Help me out, brother. Is that his birthday? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm assuming that's his birthday. Is that his birthday? Tell me out. San Jose State football is starting the season off. Yeah, I was surprised they lost last night. Vicky says the Warriors going to get 60 wins. Really? Wow. That would be nice, but I think that'd be to their detriment. They'd be tired. I think from the Warriors' perspective, Vicky, if they got home court advantage in the opening round, they would consider that to be a major success. And I think to do that, they need to probably win around 50 to 51 games. But they're going to be better than they were last year. They're not going to turn the ball over near as much. Okay, thank you. Death anniversary, yeah. One of those tragedies, man. One thing about Tupac that I think everybody will agree with is he was unapologetically himself. And, I think that's what people really, really loved about him. Yeah, definitely tragedy and one of the many losses of hip hop. But yeah, Tupac was somebody who people revere 20 some odd years later. I see kids with Tupac t-shirts on, kids 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, and I might even ask a child or a kid before, Tupac, what do you think about Tupac? And so, yeah, I love his music and, I love what he stood for. So yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate you, Mark. NBA load management rules. Are teams going to have to submit potential days off or stars of the game before the season? I don't think so. I think that, I don't know. I don't have any intel on that. But I think that keep your eye on national games. That's all. This is about money. Mark, this is about money. The NBA is really going to push these networks to pay them billions of dollars. Some of the numbers being thrown out are crazy. 75 billion. It's why ABC and ESPN, Disney is doing hoops. I'm jumping hoops right now and going through all of their mental gymnastics, trying to figure out what their business model was going to be, because they know they got to pay the NBA and they can't lose the NBA. They can't. There might be a situation where they farm some of their content off to another entity, probably one of these, these app type things, Google or Apple or something like that. But they don't want to lose the NBA, so they're going to pay. So the NBA has to assure them that they can make their money back. And that is speaking directly to who's going to be in the game when we have a national broadcast. So I think the Players Association understands, and they'll communicate to their players that sitting multiple stars out, that's just not going to fly. It's not. And the NBA has already said, listen, these are the fines, as much as $1 million. So you're going to see more guys playing, unless they're injured. If they're not injured, they won't be resting more than one player. Speaking of the NBA, did you hear HBO is canceling Winning Time after 2 seasons? No. I'm still on season 1, although I did watch one episode, about 3/4 of one episode in season 2. That was the one in which Pat Riley kind of solidified his existence as a coach, and he started to be Pat Riley. I thought that was interesting, and I can't wait to watch all of them because I know it's brilliant, But do they think that maybe there's nothing else to? There are no more stories to tell. Politically, did somebody get pissed off or something like that? I don't know, but it was brilliant. It was brilliant. No doubt about that. HBO does that though. They will cancel things that people love, and I don't know why, but they do that. But thanks. No, I didn't know that. Before I step off, I want to tell you guys that this weekend, my movie of the week, not that this is like an annual thing, but I go to the movies a lot. I saw a movie called Dumb Money. For those of you who go to the movies, you might be familiar with it. Just came out. Don't trip. Really? I like it, Mark. Why does it suck? Mark Hope says, Frank, don't trip off winning time. That show sucks. I thought it was good. Oh, cool. Well, Dumb Money, Mark Graves says, love the movie talk. Well, Dumb Money chronicles the wild ride of the GameStop stock. Remember when people were going crazy during the pandemic? It started, ironically, it started off with retail investors supporting a short on GameStop. And then when all the hedge funds got involved, the retail investors got pissed off at them and they ran it up. And this particular movie, in a very general, I'm going to say very non-sophisticated narrative, told the story of what took place. And, you know, I fool around in the stocks a little bit, you know, so I was up on it. I didn't buy any GameStop. I didn't. I had my money caught up in some other stuff. But, you know, that was the first time that retail investors actually gave some of the hedge funds the middle finger. And, you know, it just shows you how in cahoots the government officials are in with hedge funds and big business to make it really tough for small investors to make a buck. But in this situation, some of them did. And obviously, it's not all strawberries and whipped cream, so I don't want to spoil anything if you go watch the movie. But it leaned left, as you would have imagined. But yeah, I thought it was a really interesting movie. Good way to spend a couple of hours. And you learn something about how the stock market works for those who are not involved in investing. I love it. I'm not going to speak about it right now, but I've learned some incredible life lessons investing in the stock market. I've run up portfolios, not that I'm bragging, but I had a portfolio at one time that was over $200,000. And I didn't have any professional knowledge in the stock market. I taught myself about the stock market. Everything I know about the stock market, I taught myself by watching TV, reading magazines, and really getting into it. Just kind of like how I meticulously look at stats for sports. I mean, I got into stocks. It's fun. Now, was I a person who's doing a whole lot of shorts and stuff like that? No, I wasn't. You know, I follow Warren Buffett. I'm kind of a buy and hold type of investor. And no, I got lucky. A lot of it is luck, to be quite honest. You got to do your work, and there is some luck. But I bought a stock that ran up, and the craziest thing in the world. Why am I telling you guys this? I have no idea. I woke up one morning. Check this out. I woke up one morning, and I was up $50,000. Oh man. I mean, you know it's real by how I'm talking. You see how much I'm blushing and smiling? I was up 50 G's in one day. And I've lost $30,000 in one day too. The stock market is like, I'm gonna tell you when you know you are an investor. When you make money and it doesn't bother you, and when you lose money, it doesn't bother you. At that point, that's kind of like that line of demarcation when you know that, okay, I'm an investor, and I went all the way back to the bottom, and the fun part is building it back up. So I'm at a point now where I don't have a lot of money, but I'm building it back up, and that's the fun part, because those opportunities, and it's not, yeah, there's a gambling component to it, but when you are an investor, you're doing your work, that's what it is. That's what it is. You know it's not going to happen overnight. It might take you a couple of years, to build it back up, but you will. I would encourage anybody to invest. I mean, I would. Frank, I saw a Tribe Called Quest at Bimbo's Club in San Francisco. Just wanted to share a good vibe. What's your fave show, man? I saw Gang Starr probably like 3 or 4 times before Guru passed, and every time I saw Gang Starr, it was a kind of a spiritual moment for me. I love Gang Starr, DJ Premier and Guru. Quick story about Tribe Called Quest, since you bring them up. Phife, right? R.I.P. Shout out to Phife. And I'll probably end with this. I was covering the NBA Summer League, so I was at the Oakland airport en route to Las Vegas, and right behind me was Phife. Phife comes in. And Phife actually lived in the Bay Area because his wife is from Antioch, right? Yeah, guy from New York, he married a woman from Antioch. And he was en route to Chicago to one of those like hip hop, rock the bell type tours that they did every summer. And they didn't even live in the same city, but they would meet up in various cities for these shows. And he and I started talking, and we kind of somehow got on the subject of New York, and we realized we were both from New York. And I was like, yo, you like it out here? He was like, I don't know, man, But we were talking, and this brother, I gave him my number, because I was like, yo, I do a sports talk show. I'd love for you to come on, because he was talking about being an agent and stuff like that. A couple of weeks later, the show was going to be in Northern California, and he texted me and said, yo, this is Phife. I met you in line. I just want you to know I got, like 2 backstage passes for you, 2 tickets to the show, some gear. I just met him. I just met Phife. I gave him my number, and 2-3 weeks later, he contacted me, and he gave me the opportunity of a lifetime. Unfortunately, I had a trip planned to go do a basketball camp in Thailand for a couple of weeks. So I went over to Thailand and I couldn't do it. But it just kind of showed the type of person that Phife was. Phife was a real guy. He was a real dude, and he is surely missed. Phife, Mark, as you know, is you already know, you're a hip hop head. So yeah, that's my Phife story, man. And thank you for bringing him up. How was the show? You like the show? Okay. I just saw Metallica for the first time here in Phoenix. It was an awesome show. Yo, they dope. They dope. I won't tell you where, but a little secret. About 6 years, I have all of these stories. I have so many stories. I went to this kind of a unique, great, avant-garde pizza spot in Marin with a friend of mine. And Mark Kinfield, that's his name, right, of Metallica. He comes in. Cool dude, just having pizza with his family. And I met him, yeah. So I met him in Marin at a pizza parlor. Yeah, man, they're legendary. I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Mark says, I saw Metallica 3 times already. Wow. Yeah. That's dope, man. I love music. And by the way, I just finished mastering a song that I just finished that I'm going to release in a month. The best song I've ever done. Best song I've ever done. Bimbos has excellent acoustics, by the way, Mark. The song is called Where I'm Supposed to Be. And be on the lookout for it. But, you know, Vicky, it's interesting about stories. You know, the stories wouldn't be as good if you come out and you just kind of talk about things that you've done. I mean, nobody wants to hear that. But when they come out, when these stories come out in this arena, in this platform, it's interesting, you know, because it's really about your journey. It's about all of our journeys. And I would love to hear more of you all's stories because I know you have some that are great and interesting and engaging and can really add to the show. But yeah, I met a lot of people just randomly. Most of those encounters have been fantastic. A lot of them have come because of music and sports, just being in the right place at the right time. And I love to highlight like those human moments, man. I mean, at that time, you could look at Phife and tell that physically he wasn't doing very well, and he ultimately died of you know, kidney. He was on dialysis, and you could tell even at that point. I didn't say anything. This guy was touring when he was not in the best of health, and for him to show that level of humanity to me is something that I will never forget, no doubt. Frank, the Tribe show at Bimbo's, probably 1992, was so dope. The Roots opened and Queen Latifah, wow. Latifah is incredible, man. I mean, Lauryn Hill is my favorite female rapper of all time. Queen Latifah is number 2, and Light is number 3 to me. Now, I mean, the material, I'm not going to be like, yeah, I buy her records. I don't do that. But Cardi B can rap. Cardi B can rap. She really can. I'm like, I wish that, you know, she would kind of expand her realm of content. But, you know, she's talked about it. She's like, when I tried to do songs with messages, nobody really gave her, you know what. You know, when I do this type of music, people seem to like it, so that's why she's doing it. But just in terms of being able to rap, she can flow. She really can. And I want to give her credit for that. So, yeah. And Vicky, thank you. Love your stories. I got my eye on you, Vicky. You said 3 wins for Nebraska? Okay. All right. This was a great decision to do this show tonight. We have like 1:30 left. This was outstanding. I really appreciate all of the contributions. I needed this because on this journey of building content creation, it's a slow walk. It's not a fast walk. All of these videos, I got 19,000 subscribers in 3 months. Yay, let me show you how to do it. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. When we're talking to real people, building real relationships, it's going to take you some time. I'm up for it. It's all good. All right? All right. Can't wait. Thanks, brother. Mark, thank you, man. I appreciate you, brother. All right. Okay, I'm looking forward to watching Bryce Young tomorrow night. I'm gonna see how he does. He didn't have a great second game. Now, you gotta give him some time, but I'm a big Bryce Young guy, so I want to see him play well tomorrow night. All right. Yes. I love it. That's what it's about. I love the song. Do that thing. Yeah. SG, I didn't know you were that cool, man. I'm sorry. My bad. I didn't know, man. Wow. We got to talk more hip hop then, B. All right, y'all. It is 10:30. I know you guys got things to do. I'm going to let you do it. I'm going to get out of here. Before I do it, I'm going to do my thing, get out of here. All right? I said I'm going to say it one time. That's it. If you listen to the program tonight, you like it, you want to subscribe, feel free to do so. In the Dungeon Show on YouTube right there. Just hit that button. And follow me at X, at Big Frank Red. If you don't already follow me, do so. On Twitter, I follow back. And I try to install and say smart stuff on the internet. All right? And respond to people who are also writing about stimulating things that make me think. All right? Everybody be safe. Have a great week. And I'll talk to you in a couple of days. We're going to do 3 shows a week, as I said. All right? Success in getting paid is a manifestation of the whole process. If you as an individual don't do things to help other people make their lives better, as far as I'm concerned, you haven't done nothing. All right? Take care. And thank you for stepping in the dungeon with me, Frank Red. Peace.